Hello everyone, this is Janet from Mixed Media Mama. I just wanted to come to you today to show you a really quick video about Tracie Fox at Foxy Crafters on Facebook and LoveJunkJournal's Tracie Fox. She is putting a December daily challenge out, and she has beautifully created her own digitals every day, just a little bit of digitals, and you can go to the Foxy Crafters on Facebook and download those digitals. But what I have done, I guess, is my own version of her daily challenge. Now, I'm way behind. I've only used digitals from day 1, 2, and 3. I have gotten all of the other digitals, but I've also created my own version of those digitals because I do not do a lot of Christmas journals or Christmas tags, but I do like to incorporate Tracie's digitals in other things that I may be using. Let me show you for an example. First thing I wanted to let you know what I am using here. It is her daily December digitals, 1, 2, and 3 is what I have used. The other things is the Creative Pretty Patchwork Kit from her Etsy, and as you saw before on the card, you can go to LoveJunkJournals on Etsy. And then the other one is the Watercolor Effect Christmas Ephemera. So what I did, I'm just going to unload everything here. What I did is I took a regular envelope. I had this regular envelope. It was just a junk envelope, extra envelope. And so we slid it open. This is how we slid it open, and there's the window. And I just flipped that part up. This end, let me see if I can get another one. It is something like this, and I just flipped it up like that. All right, so I flipped it up like that, glued it down, and I used her daily digitals. In the back, you can see of the window, I used believe this tag back here, this blue tag is from the Watercolor Effect Kit. And then I just added a few things. And this is part of her December daily digitals, and I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2, but this was part of the big tag. And here is another piece of, I believe this is part of her digital. I really used some Rubons here from the 49th and Market just to give, because I did want to keep the original inside of instead of having the words, it had all of these little circles with X's, or kind of a roundabout X's, and I wanted to keep those, and I just used Rubons. And that is also another tag from her daily digital. So basically, that's what I did to the front. Simple, really, but still incorporating her digitals. And the nice thing about Tracie's digitals, all of Tracie's digitals, in all of her kits, they all blend together, as you can see. And then I flip it over. This is part of her daily digital too. And I believe this is also maybe part of her one of her winter kits, the Pretty Patchworks, I'm thinking. Don't quote me on that. And then just a piece of scrap paper and some more Rubons here. So let me show you the tags that I use, and those go right here. Nice little tag. I really reduced this. This is part of her daily digitals. I really reduced part of this. It was a nice little label, big label, and I probably reduced it down to 50%. This is also part of this. See that newspaper? It's part of that on the daily digital. So that goes right into a tuck spot right in that little, right there. This is a tag, actually a square, and I made it into a short tag off of her watercolor, I believe. Yes, the Watercolor Effect Christmas Ephemera. And that just goes right there. And as you can see, there is a nice little pocket right there too. So I made a really skinny tag. Now, I know all of you recognize this because this one was, I believe, from day 1 or day 2. And I just put it on a really skinny tag with a dyed tea bag, you know, those tea bags. I just try to keep all of them. And I make a nice little background. And then that is one of her little make magic. So I do like to do a little bit of Christmas here and there, but it just scoots right into the nice little plum pudding minced meat pocket. And it looks really cute on the whole outside there. I like to have that one. And this one is, the background comes from her daily digital. I put a little bit of Rubon there from, it's not going to come, 49th and Market. There we go. And this little girl was from part of her kits. It really worked, and put it on the back of a index card, dyed index card, and sewed around it, and that goes right through here. And so this card, it inserts right into here. It's a nice big, shows right through, so you can see. And so basically I just collaged. The background was a piece of scrap paper that I had on hand. I fussy cutted this out because this was part of her daily December digitals. Stamped on some dictionary paper, some vintage tape, and that's it. And on the back, it is just a nice little writing card. So this is just a really quick example of what just another little different. Oh, yes, I forgot this. And this is just a playing card. And I use part of her ephemera pieces onto the back. And that is also part of her daily digitals. Put that right in there. And this was just a sack. I started out with just a basic card sack. And I added a frame from 49th and Market. Before I added the I shouldn't say sewed on the frame, I glued the frame on. But what I did is I just took a piece of vellum. Here, a piece of vellum. And you can hear that, can't you? And I sewed that, I glued it on and sewed it on. Put a little bit of Rubon on there. Had a scrap piece of paper that really kind of matched that Rubon. But if you could see, I'm going to try really hard. This tag is part of her daily digitals. And I don't know, it must be day 3. And I put that in before I glued the frame on to the sack. Because then now you can have a nice little something to show through before you put your card in there. So you have a tuck here, and then of course you have the card that goes right there. And this, if I remember right, this is part of her one of her kits. I think it's the Watercolor Effect. Don't quote me on that. But I will put all the links down below in the description. And just a fern that I had as just a remnant in Follow Your Path. Yeah, that's on a nice little flashcard, and it fits perfectly right in there. So those are little things that you can incorporate bits and pieces, and that's kind of what I do. I incorporate bits and pieces into of others' inspiration, and they inspire me to make items like this. But now I am working on, and this is just a cookie sack, just a tiny little cookie sack. So I had started, I cut out the gussets. And do you see that? I just cut out the extra. I don't like to have bulky ephemera, so I cut out extra paper, because what I'm going to do is that I am going to glue each side together, and then only glue down here on either side and make it into a pocket. So that will be used. And then since it has a nice little cellophane window, I am going to use that as, and I will probably slide some of Tracie's ephemera paper or whatever I decide, whatever inspires me actually, in there, and I will use that as a tag from the top. And as you can see, I already put a little cloth hinge, and I just glued it on. And knowing me, I probably will sew a little bit, but that's kind of my style. So see, those are things that I have used and reused. I love Tracie's kits and her December daily, so now I need to get busy for day 4, 5, 6, and 7. And maybe I'll use that on these. We'll see. I'll come back to you when I get it all ready. So take care, thanks, and see you next time. Bye.